welcome to Good Games Spawn Point, the show for younger gamers by gamers. I'm Bajo.
And I'm Hex.
And I am the data-analysing robot for the ruthless extermination of noobs. Or, as humans tend to mangle it, Darren.
Coming up on the show this week, we put 3 classic music games against each other as we review and reveal this week's Spawn Point Selects.
Yes, I need to analyse those results.
Plus, we tackle some of your urgent gaming queries and ask Good Game.
But first, it's a given that every family-friendly movie also gets a game, but often they're just terror-bad. So it was with some trepidation that we hit play on Toy Story 3.
To infinity and beyond!
That's pretty good.
Hex and our very special guest Bindi last week on The Big Show reviewed Toy Story 3, the video game, but now I've had a play and I've got some thoughts on it as well.
Well, fair enough. Toy Story's had a long history though, hasn't it, Badge? I mean, some of you may not even remember when Toy Story 1 came out way back in 1995, but I bet you all love Woody, Buzz and the gang all the same.
Did you know that Toy Story was the first film to be entirely computer-generated? It's just a pity it didn't have more robots.
Fair enough. Toy Story 3 has 2 modes. First up, the story mode includes 7 missions which cover some of the more important events from the film.
It's mostly basic platforming stuff. You jump a lot, climb a bit, and even get to ride some pretty psychedelic rails. You don't really get to choose which character you play. Some missions are for Woody and some are for Buzz, but a couple let you switch between the two along with Jessie.
Yeah, I found those missions the most fun and challenging. Each character has their own special moves, so it was quite fun trying to work out which one you had to use to complete certain parts of the mission. But the other ones, they were just boring and repetitive. Tedious even.
Oh, did you get sick of lasering Zurg's henchmen, Bajo?
I do have a lasering limit, Darren.
Oh, I never get sick of lasering anything.
Yeah, we know.
You know, I just found it so frustrating when developers make you slog through boring bits of level just to get to the good bits. You know, I wish they'd just split their levels up into sections so that I could go back and play the parts that I really liked.
So, we meet again, Buzz Lightyear, for the last time.
The second mode is Toy Box mode, which is pretty much your playground.
I, Mayor Ham, hereby make you the Sheriff of Woody's Roundup. Congratulations!
There are many missions to complete and gold stars to collect as you build and populate your town, fulfilling your role as a sheriff in the Wild West.
Now this is where the real fun happens, Bajo. You can decorate buildings, dress up toys simply by throwing them into a shop window and buying new toys with the coins you collect. It's an open world environment, so you can just explore and new areas open up as you complete the missions.
Or if that doesn't interest you, you can just ride Bullseye around, check out the racetrack, play dodgeball with your townsfolk, and even drop kick a few aliens. You can also discover stuff from the Pixar catalogue, and I thought that the Toy Box mode was way more fun than the story mode, Hex.
Yeah, Badge. I mean, it really just lets you play on your own terms, and that's what you want to do with your toys most of the time.
Would you like to know what my favourite bit in Toy Box mode was?
Sure, Darren.
It definitely has to be the spoof ads.
What I really liked about the game was the look of it. Earlier Toy Story games never really looked like the movies, but here you feel like you're in the movie. It looks like the movie.
Yeah, it's fantastic. The graphics are so rich. You really get a sense of that Toy Story world when you see all those brilliant textures and the animation of the toys. And the colours are so vibrant. It's just a joy to play. It makes you all warm and fuzzy, really.
Although sometimes the colour is so bright you really need sunnies.
You can also share the Toy Story experience with a buddy in co-op in both story mode and Toy Box.
Local multiplayer is a good idea, and generally it works okay, but the respawn times were a killer, Hex. I felt the whole time I was just waiting for my friend to die or to reach the next checkpoint before I could play again. So frustrating.
Yeah, the co-op here really could have been done better, and as you see the split screen in our LEGO Harry Potter review, the split screen in this game really seems last generation by comparison.
You know what's also last gen, Hex? Muddy controls and bad depth perception. It's just so annoying when you're stuck in that continuous deep spiral of jump fail. But enough of that. Final thoughts?
You know, I think even though we've been somewhat critical, I actually had a lot of fun with this game, Bajo. You know, I loved the movies growing up and I adore Woody, Buzz and the gang, and this was just genuinely enjoyable, and I think it still manages to provide that sense of wonder. I'm sticking with an 8.
There were bits I couldn't stand, and I never want to play that last mission again, but it's one of the rare movie games which is actually not that bad, so don't be afraid to get creative. I'm giving it 7.5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Perhaps you just need more practice at platform jumping, Bajo. Practice does make perfect.
What are you saying, Darren?
For humans. Just saying you're imperfect, Bajo. I thought that was implicit in my statement.
That's mean.
Okay, Badge, you ready for another onslaught of question-y goodness?
Always, Hex. Let's kick things off with this from Ziggy in the Gold Coast.
Are there any games okay for a 9-year-old boy where you build cities or worlds and where there's activity like buying things? I found Evany on the computer, but my mum says it's not okay for me to play that. So is there something like that but for kids?
Indeed there is, Ziggy. The SimCity games on PC are probably your best bet. They let you become the mayor of your very own cities, which you can design from the ground up, and then you can destroy them when you get bored. And you can actually download the original SimCity for free now as well, so you can't go wrong with that.
If you want something with a historical emphasis, the Caesar series of games are well worth a look at too. Moving on to this one from Paris in Brisbane.
How many PSP games are there in the whole wide world? Well, there's 7.
Well, I think there's a bit more than that, Bajo. Let's
8.
have a look. Well, as of right now,
15.
we've counted...
642.
How did you know that?
Skills. Well, how about that? Moving on to this from Jane in Sydney.
I've heard of the new 3DS. Can you tell me a little bit about it? I really want to know when it's going to come out in Australia and if it's really worth buying.
Well, Jane, I was lucky enough to get some hands-on time with the 3DS at E3, and I have to say, it's pretty cool. It's about the same size as a normal DS, but the upper screen is now much bigger and can create a 3D effect without the need for wearing glasses.
So jealous. Well, they've already announced some games for it. A new Kid Icarus, the 3D remake of some of my favourite games like Lilac Wars and Pilot Wings.
And it's good to know that it will also be backwards compatible for existing DS games.
Ninty haven't yet given us a release date. Rumours are that it might be launched at the end of this year before Christmas, but we think it's more likely going to be early next year.
Moving on to this from Andrew in Lidcombe. My sister is such a noob. I can't stand it anymore. Could you send Darren to exterminate her?
Absolutely, Andrew. Send us another email through the Meet the Spawn section of the website, and I'm sure Darren will be more than happy to pay a visit to your noob sister.
But if she's a perma-noob, then it's likely she'll be exterminated, so you better check with your parents that they're cool with that. Don't want any scenes like last time Darren paid a visit to her house, do we, Hex? Alright, well, time for just one more this week, and it's from Casey in Chester Hill, New South Wales.
In LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga Episode 5 Hoth Battle, how do you defeat the AT-AT? Well, Casey, just shoot the AT-AT in the legs with your tow cable, wrap him up a few times until he falls over, and then go and drag a bomb into him. Bam!
Bam.
Defeated.
Well, that's it for this week's Spawnlings. You know what to do with those questions. Send them to us.
Have you been listening to music this whole time?
No, I'm learning Klingon.
What? Bajo, this is German.
No, it's Klingon. The guy told me in the shop that it was Klingon.
Hit me in the face with the book.
Okay, Spawn Selects time.
Oh, I've been waiting for this. La 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 la.
Okay, Darren, I think you're jumping the gun just a little bit there.
Yeah, too right. Last time I checked the Spawn Selects poll, the viewers were totally in favour of us talking about Guitar Hero.
Can you just compute the poll and confirm that the Spawn have voted for the fret and strum action of Guitar Hero over both Singstar and DJ Hero, their favourite music game?
Affirmative. Tallying votes. Checking. Double checking. The final results from the Spawn Point poll show that, amongst our viewers, far and away the most popular music game is Singstar.
What? Darren, when I checked the poll this morning, Singstar only had 20% of the vote, and now it's won? I think you've been hacksawing.
Yeah, Darren, there's only 22 million people in Australia, and yet Singstar got over 9,000 million votes?
Your point?
You rigged the poll, Darren.
Negative. Negative. It's just that everyone in the galaxy voted for Singstar.
Well, it is true that Singstar has had a huge impact on gaming. On the PS2, games were always hardcore. It was definitely a hardcore console, but when Singstar came along, it opened the door up for a whole bunch of new gamers to play who maybe had never picked up a controller before.
Affirmative. First released in 2004, Singstar is an interactive music game in which one or two players can sing along to videos of pop music hits. Special USB microphones measure and analyze the pitch of singers' voices to rate their performance.
How was that?
Wonderful. You're going to be a star someday, Bajo. I can tell.
No fewer than 16 different Singstar games have been released in Australia. Some are organised by themes such as Singstar 80s, Singstar Pop and Singstar R&B. More recently, Singstar games have been released that focus on the works of a specific band.
Such as Singstar Wiggles,
Wake up, Jeff. Everybody's wiggling. Wake up, Jeff. We really need you. Wake up, Jeff. You're missing all the fun now. Wake up, Jeff. Before the day's through.
Of course, the game isn't perfect. It only measures your pitch and timing and doesn't actually recognise your words, so it is possible to win by simply humming and grunting along with the music.
Oh, have you checked out my performances on the Singstar Online? I'm rated a superstar.
How I feel. Gotta make you understand.
And the track list can be more miss than hit, as well as some of the performances.
Once upon a time, I was falling in love. Now I'm only falling apart. There's nothing I can do. A total eclipse of the heart.
That's for sure. Every Singstar game comes with some real lemons on it. That being said, though, there's nothing more certain than the fact that a successful game will get copied, so it's no surprise that other singing games have been released, like Lips for 360 and You Sing for Wii.
Do you really want to hurt me? Do you really want to make me cry?
What are you doing, Bajo?
Darren, I've just been scanning your cache, and it turns out that the winner with the spawn was actually Guitar Hero, so you've been a very naughty robot. This is the ABC. You're not allowed to hack it. Now say you're sorry.
Sorry.
Something in here about Second Life as well.
Negative.
Right, well, Guitar Hero has been a hugely influential music game as well. Those little plastic guitars are in homes all over the country.
Yes, if the 6 strings on a real guitar is too daunting for you, the 5 coloured frets on Guitar Hero will let you screech out some solos and chunk out some power chords. And if you put the difficulty up to maximum, it's almost as challenging as a real instrument.
A few games have made you feel as cool by just pressing a few buttons. Plus, it gave you that feeling of being in your favourite band and playing in front of a massive crowd. Flick that guitar up with a cool rock move and you activate star power.
Really, it's a rock simulation game. If you get all the notes right, then the crowd will cheer and the music will sound great. But miss a few, they'll start booing and the music will sound just awful.
The audio quality of the songs and the design of the guitar controller has changed as the game has progressed too. They introduced necks that snap in and out of the guitar, a touch panel on the fretboard for note bending, and a bunch of different designs that are based on real-life guitars.
Though they really need to design a robot-friendly guitar.
Oh, now we get to the bottom of it. Darren, why didn't you ask the developer of Guitar Hero when you were there at E3 about that?
Oh, I did.
And what did he say?
His response required me to charge my laser.
Darren. Hex, do you think there's been too many Guitar Hero games? There's been so many now. You can even play it on your mobile, and that's a bit weird to me. Really, it should be played with a guitar.
Yeah, I think they've got a little bit carried away with Band Hero and the DS version that comes with a little clip-on fretboard. But I don't know, I think as long as there are rocking tunes out there that haven't been used, then they'll keep pumping out new versions of the game.
Okay. Well, the next Spawn Selects will tackle strategy gaming. Everybody wants to rule the world, and in these games of tactical scheming, you can. We're going to choose from Halo Wars, Advance Wars, or Total War. Which game of domination will dominate them all? You decide.
Is that distracting?
Really hurts my eyes.
I hereby declare this episode over.
Darren, you're not still upset about the Spawn Selects poll results, are you?
Oh, no. It's just that my internal mercury ion optical clock tells me that we've run out of time.
Oh, fair enough then. Well, next week we'll be taking to the skies with our review of Snoopy Flying Ace.
We'll be meeting another family of gamers to find out how they divvy up time in front of the TV.
And your one-face reviews of that pink thing Kirby shall be analysed, and a rating of awesome, average or awful shall be applied.
Darren, promise not to hack the results this time.
Yes, this time.
Hex out.
Bajo out.
Darren out.
Want another go at Wake Up, Jeff?
Ooh, affirmative. Wake up, Jeff!
Everybody singing.
Wake up, Jeff!
I don't know the rest.
Neither do I.
Well, you both failed.
Negative.